LeBron James, he chimed in. It's absolutely about power and control, according to LeBron's Twitter feed, where he was retweeting another guy and who was complaining about the Roe v. Wade ruling and how this is all about control. They just want to control women. And LeBron, he's for women. Yeah. Samuel L. Jackson, the actor, he took to Twitter, fired an Uncle Clarence racial slur at Justice Clarence Thomas. Yeah, Samuel L. Jackson. Got to play that card because Clarence Thomas wants the states to decide abortion, because Clarence Thomas isn't one of these, hey, just abortion on demand guys, because Clarence Thomas actually believes in policies that would actually lead to more black people rather than lead to the more slaughter of black children in the womb. He's an Uncle Tom for that. Samuel L. Jackson, he's the righteous one.
But here's the question that I have to you, Mr. Whitlock. Do you really want to see more single mothers and kids without fathers in the home? This is a large problem in many of our cities, the impact on that particular family dynamic where there is not the nuclear family.
And Steve, I don't think we need more of that. I think we need more abstinence. I think we need more condoms. I think we need more birth control. I think we need more sex without drugs and alcohol being the foundation of it. And I think that those things are all, they can be accomplished.
And I thought they were journalists over there, but I guess I was wrong, because they want to take a story that's meant to be a diversion. It's a nothing burger, and they want to turn it into a big story because they don't want to talk about the issues affecting this country. The fact that we have an illegitimate president in the White House who is trying to destroy this country. I'm not going to let that man in the White House take down Arizona, and that's why I'm running.
Kari, I'm telling you, I share the same energy and attitude and mindset as you. I interviewed Donald Trump at the White House during his presidency, and one of the things I tried to convey to him was that, because I feel like I have the same energy. I'm, for lack of a better word, I'm an asshole. And I think I've been forced
Wait a minute.
to be one.
Are you saying I have that energy? I think I'm pretty nice.
Well, I think any of us that care about this country at this point have to tap into that asshole energy if we're going to fix it.
People of Arizona want a secure border, and we are going to do it. And we will pay for that wall, and we will eventually, I believe, be reimbursed by the federal government, because I don't think Joe Biden's going to be in office for long. I think President Trump will be coming back, and I know that he will reimburse us for that. We're going to take back all of that material sitting down there that we, the taxpayer, paid for to build the wall, and we're going to take it back from the federal government, and we're going to use that to build the wall. And if Joe Biden has a problem with it, he's going to have to come down to Arizona and arrest me, because I will not stand here and allow the people of Arizona to be taken advantage of. We're sick of our kids being poisoned. We're sick of people coming in illegally and taking our jobs. And we're sick of watching as children and women are being trafficked into this world of sex and the sex trade. And we're not going to sit here as Arizonans and take it.
So we all see what has happened with this Roe versus Wade situation. We already knew this was how it was going to go down. Dear white women, listen. Bet on black. Bet on brown. Bet on indigenous. Put everything you got behind us. Move entirely out of the way.
Shamika, please, make it make sense.
Okay, listen. The only sense, Jason, I can make of this is what happens when social media gives people who used to, take classes in the basement and wear a helmet, a platform to look important and to seem like they're actually knowledgeable of something. That's the only sense this is. This woman claims that she is a witch, that she's a psychic, that she's a healer. Healing what? With all of that negative anger.
And Paul he's acknowledging the fact that there are spiritual forces that are keeping people in blindness and spiritual deafness, and that those powers have to respond when the church prays together. And one of the things we've been doing for the last decade or more is coming together for prayer against these things. There's a ministry in Kansas City that we're related to that has had 24/7 prayer for the last almost 25 years. And one of their major prayer focuses has been Roe v. Wade, has been to see this thing change. Well, our spiritual weapons are powerful because there's no other explanation. There's no reason that right now we would see this thing happen. I mean, this is a God thing on steroids.
They have cleverly done, and using people like Al Sharpton, is to say that black men like yourself, myself, who are just like, I'm going to hand it over to God and what the Bible says. Oh, well, you've sold out. You're actually trying to please the white man or the conservative or the Republican. And it has nothing to do with that. Now, have I figured out that these values that I've chose to embrace, these biblical values, have given me something in common with white evangelicals? Yes, and I'm not ashamed of that. And I'm not going to run from that. Because trust me, any black person who embraces these biblical values, I have a great affinity for them. That's, again, I love Delano Squires, period. Because we have these shared values. And
right.
Same with Dave Shannon. Same with TJ Moe.
Right.
And so that's the common thread. You start walking people away from their religious values. People who use their religious values and biblical worldview to survive slavery and overcome it. Who used it to survive Jim Crow and overcome it. Who used it to promote freedom and liberate themselves. When you start walking them away from those values, you're walking them towards death. This whole abortion culture is about death. I get, Jim Jones, Guyana tragedy, and all them people drinking the Kool-Aid and dying. What was that, 300, 400, 500 people? I'm not sure. I have to go back and check. But millions have died because of abortion. Let's take abortion off the table. Millions have died and suffered the consequences of walking away from a biblical worldview. We're looking at black progress come to a screeching halt.
Unless you are a black person who grew up in a staunchly conservative Republican household, at some point you have viewed Clarence Thomas with a skeptical eye, because that's just been the tide of black culture, American culture generally speaking, but definitely a black culture. And I was about 10 years old when he was confirmed to the Supreme Court, somewhere in that age range. So I don't remember it particularly well, but I'm sure I was sympathetic to what Anita Hill was saying. Now, going back and looking back in history, I realized that she never alleged that he touched her or he forced himself on her. At worst, it was that he told some off-color jokes, right? That's the worst.
Judge, let me ask you that you say you haven't been the biggest fan of Clarence Thomas. Why not?
Do you want the black version, or do you just want the generic version?
I want the truth.
too often what he did was wrapped up in what the late Scalia did. Scalia was deemed brilliant by a number of people, but as a presiding judge, the problem was is that his rulings gave no guidance to the entirety of the justice system upon which they could get guiding principles. In other words, too often what he wanted was on an ad hoc basis without setting a general principle, and that's what the Supreme Court is supposed to do, set general principles.